Please enjoy this video introduction.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Ford Saeks has helped companies generate over $1 billion in sales worldwide. From startups to Fortune 500s, Ford is widely recognized as a business growth accelerator. With over 20 years of experience, he has authored several books, been awarded 3 U.S. patents, and received numerous industry awards. Tenacity and innovation are what fuels this revenue-generating powerhouse. From grassroots to Google and beyond, Ford provides his clients with fresh perspectives and doable tactics to resolve marketing, operations, and growth challenges. As president of Prime Concepts Group, founder of the Accelerated Growth System, and host of Fordify Live, Ford specializes in helping businesses solve their biggest challenges and unleash the power of AI innovations. He's an avid cyclist, global traveler, and outdoor enthusiast, channeling his drive for exploration and resilience both on trails and in guiding organizations to new heights. We're happy to have him here with us today. So please, give a warm welcome to Ford Saeks.
Thank you, everybody. So you can use the Zoom emotions and everything, and you can put the hearts and the thumbs up and all that. I will be looking in the chat, and I will be doing some Q&A towards the end. We're going to go for 60 minutes, and then I'll officially stop, but I will stay on the line and answer questions. So make sure you type them into the chat, into the questions and answers, and we'll get to them. So let's start out. Well, I want you to picture this. It's a Monday morning, and you're rushing to get ready for work, and you're running late as usual, and you can't find your car keys. So suddenly, your smart assistant chimes in, "Hey, Ford, your keys are in the kitchen next to the coffee maker. And by the way, I've already started your car, and I've set the navigation to go to your office. Now, traffic's going to be heavy today, so I suggest you take the alternate route that I've already programmed into the GPS and on your phone." So what do? You pause for a moment, and you think, that's crazy. Well, I guess I can't use that excuse anymore. Thanks, AI. So now that may seem like a scene from a futuristic movie, but the reality is AI and those tools and power are already transforming our daily lives in ways that we never thought would even be possible. Now, everything from smart home assistants to self-driving cars to personalized medicine to predictive maintenance in factories, AI is revolutionizing every industry, even those people that are watching this or watching the replay, and it's changing the way that we work and live. But here's the thing. AI is not just for tech giants and science fiction novels anymore. It's for everyone. Everybody watching and listening to this. It's for businesses, organizations, government, and any role in any business. And if you're not already thinking about ways on how you can leverage AI in your business or your organization, you're definitely going to be left behind. Now, today, in the short time we have together, we're going to explore AI innovations. We're going to demystify the jargon, and we're going to look at ways that you can harness the power of AI in your own backyard. So whether you're an executive, I know we've got speakers bureaus on the line. Thank you for joining. I know we've got other speakers and other experts and association members and C-level executives and franchise brands. Regardless of what your role is, if you're seeking to disrupt an industry or leverage the power, you're in the right place. So let's take a look at what we're going to cover today. So let's go to here. So why should you care about this? Well, we just talked about in the opening story about why it's important to pay attention, but I want you to be thinking about 3 categories: mindset, strategies, and tactics. You can't even swing a dead cat without hitting 100 people that are now AI experts, right? Every speaker who couldn't make it as a leadership speaker or a sales speaker is now an expert on AI. And I just want to say this, nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of experts, people smarter than me, right? And I understand that the more I learn about AI, the more I know I don't know. But let me reframe this. The only reason I care about this topic is if it's going to help me expand my influence, improve the customer experience, shorten the sales cycle, or improve operational performance. And that's exactly what AI is. So I look at this from a business acceleration perspective, not from a technology perspective. So regardless of your role, whether you're in accounting and finance or management and leadership, or whether you're in team building or culture, communication, change, whatever the topic is, or whether you're in marketing and sales, we're going to be able to cover some amazing things that you're going to be able to leverage. But when I talk about mindset, you first have to be open-minded, because if you have a mindset that says, "Oh, I already understand everything about AI," well, whoops, wrong button. I'd say, no, you don't. You don't know what you don't know, so you think you know, but you really don't know. So we are going to cover strategies on how to think differently because the technology is changing so quickly that I'm going to give you the thought patterns and the processes to understand, regardless of what tool that you're using out there. And then we're also going to give you some very specific how to tactics. But I've surveyed everybody who came today, and I want to share with you how I did that. So when you registered, it gave a landing page and then it surveyed everybody. Those surveys went into an Excel spreadsheet. Then I took that Excel spreadsheet and I uploaded it to ChatGPT. And then I prompted ChatGPT to say, hey, I want you to summarize the hundreds of people that signed up for this Zoom webinar. And I want you to give me the key points and understand so that I can properly prepare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go full screen right now, and I'm going to actually play that video for you. This was the video. Okay, so I'm going to stop. Okay, so I stopped here. So here was the prompt. I'm Ford Saeks, presenting on AI innovation. I've surveyed my attendees who registered for my Zoom webinar. Your task is to review the responses and summarize the key areas of focus to better understand their needs. So the presentation will be tailored. What do I need to know? What is the theme that most people are experiencing? What is the common theme? And what do I need to include in the presentation to answer their needs? You get the point, right? You can read for yourselves. So, and give me a chart with the numbers. So I'm going to just play the video in real time. This is how fast it did this. I uploaded the spreadsheet. I clicked send. It immediately understood the spreadsheet. It analyzed the spreadsheet. And then look at this. It gave me the key areas of focus. It gave me the favorite tools, what the expectations were, what the common themes were, what were my recommendations, and how do I prepare. So I just want you to think about now, obviously, as a Hall of Fame keynote speaker and going around to organizations and speaking on business acceleration and AI, of course, which is where a lot of you came from today, it's important that you leverage these tools. So I want you to be thinking, remember, I said mindset, strategy, and tactics. For some of you, it's going to be mindset. For the rest of you, it's going to be strategies. And the other people, it's going to be tactics. But because I know we have such a wide range of people on today's event, so during this presentation, I'm going to go from beginner to intermediate to advanced to intermediate to beginner. So if you're an advanced person, you're definitely going to get seated things throughout the presentation. And if you're a beginner, you don't have to focus on everything. Just capture the things that are relevant to you. And remember, you're going to get the video so you can watch the replay.
Hey, let me jump in for a second. I'm Ford's AI assistant, and I want you to know that the agenda is designed for all levels of experience, so whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned AI aficionado, you're in the right place. Time is of the essence, so we'll keep things focused and impactful. Remember, you'll also get the video replay of today's broadcast. Ready to unlock the potential of AI innovations? Take it away, Ford.
So that video was created in about 8 seconds. I went to ChatGPT, it created a script. I took that script over to a program called HeyGen. I picked the avatar, made the video, and I was done. Now I want you to be thinking about how could you use that for onboarding, maybe training about your products and services. So for those of you that don't feel comfortable on camera, obviously, I love to be on camera. It's like, oh, I get to present today. I'm in front of a screen and a microphone. But for those of you that might not like to do that, think about how much you could use AI to create multiple videos instantly. And of course, I know you're going to have questions. So make sure you put it into the questions and answer or the chat field. And I know I've got my team on it and they're monitoring it. So we'll look at those questions. So let's make sure we're clear and level set. This is the only reason you're here is to improve productivity and efficiency. And AI is going to help you automate repetitive tasks. Anything you have to do on a repetitive basis, you should be thinking about how you could leverage AI. It's going to help you make better decisions. We're also going to talk about the pitfalls that could cause brand damage too. And then, of course, we're going to look at how you can leverage it for learning. Now, please keep in mind, this isn't a keynote. My keynote presentations, I talk a little bit slower than I do here, but you can see that I'm really passionate about helping deliver real value. So just to be clear, AI, and when we talk about AI, we'll talk about the specific tools. So if you're advanced, pay attention. We're going to get there. But AI is now multimodal. What does that mean? It means that it can produce human-like text, images, audio, and video, and programming code based on prompts. But in the future, the near future, you're not going to have to worry about prompt engineering in some fancy thing. You're just going to talk to it like a real person, and it's going to help you get the result. So there are 3 basic engines. There's more Don't get too technical. Again, I want you to help things that are going to help you be more productive and increase your profits. But I just want you to understand there's three basic engines. You've got ChatGPT and Copilot. You've got Google, which is Gemini. And then, of course, you've got Anthropic. You've got three basic models. And then there are thousands, literally thousands of other programs that sit on top of those engines that customize it based on certain industries or certain usages. But that way, you know that if we talk about large language models, that's what it is. But there's also some cautions you got to be worried about. Now, I could have found 100 different headlines of catastrophic failures that AI has created. A couple that you probably heard of is when Gemini first came out, it generated images and responses that were completely biased. It was inaccurate and biased. You've probably heard about the case of a lawyer who used AI to help him win his case, and it created case law that was completely fiction and made up, which obviously caused a problem. And then, of course, in the future, the near future, it's going to be harder than ever to actually know what's real. I was presenting at an organization last week in San Antonio, and I played this video of me doing a back squat with like 425 pounds, and I did it, and they were in health and fitness industry. And so I played it, and from the audience, someone yelled out, "That's probably AI." And I thought to myself, no, crap, that's not AI. That was actually me doing it. But that's the world we're living in now, where you're not going to be able to know what's real and what's fake. So it is kind of scary. So here's your next tip. You've heard this if you've participated in any of my webinars in the last 18 months that I've been doing on this topic. Do not treat AI as an expert. Treat it as an intern. Make sure you are checking the work and you're doing your due diligence. And if you're an organization and a C-level professional, make sure that everybody on your team understands they cannot just copy and paste or just use the content directly out of AI. They have to make sure that it's approved first. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of brand damage. Which brings me to security and ethical considerations. I've been speaking on this topic now for, almost 2 years. And it always comes up, well, what about data security? Well, your next tip, and this is strategic, no matter what AI program you're using, you need to go to the default settings and check all the settings to make sure you're saying, is my data going to be used to train the model, or is it kept separately? Now, please keep in mind that the companies, the large language models, and all these companies that are all now selling AI subscriptions, they understand that it's important that you have privacy data. And there's a setting that you can set that says, don't share my data. Now, you can believe that or not. Let's just say it's true, but I think that's great. They also have enterprise models that allows AI to work in a closed environment. So you don't have to worry about your data or your team's data being used all over the whole large language model. So I know that you've got some hands raised, Ellen, so I will get to those questions. So I appreciate that. But just type in your question below. When I'm done with the presentation, I'm going to stick around. I'll share the screen. We can turn this into a interactive chat. The action step for you is check your defaults. Don't put anything on AI that you don't want shared publicly. Keep in mind that AI is not Google. It's not just searching websites and plagiarizing the data. It's pulling from the data. Just like if I had hired somebody that had gone through college and gone through a certain expertise or education, it's learned. So it's basically AI it's 500% smarter than the smartest human, but it's basically a fancy autocomplete, right? It generates responses based on what it thinks you want, but it doesn't know right from wrong. If you overuse it, you're going to get in trouble, and there are security things that you have to be aware of. So let's go through the trends. I wanted to make sure that if you don't say, well, Ford, you promised me trends. Well, here are 5 trends that you can understand that are going to shape AI. Trend number 1 we talked about was multimodal. In the future, you're not going to have to worry about typing into a prompt. You're just going to talk to it. In fact, you can talk to it right now, which we'll get into in a minute. There's workflow integrations. We're going to talk about how you can create workflows that can automatically look at your email, make sure responses. It can take form responses and anything that you're doing to get data moved in through different programs. AI workflows can do that work for you. It's really kind of scary. There's going to be smaller, more efficient models. It's going to be in your iWatch. It's going to be in Siri and Alexa. It's going to be in all the programs like the Google Voice. It's going to be on everything. So you can't get away from it. There's going to be advanced customization. So now all the programs are understanding that you want to be able to customize it based on how you need. So as a keynote speaker and strategic advisor for organizations, I've customized my AI so it knows who I am, it knows who my ideal client is, it knows what the top challenges are in the industries that I work in. And so it gives me much better results because of that. And then, of course, ethical and responsible development. The AI tools, even though it is the wild, wild west, they all understand that you're not going to use the tool if it's not secure, or at least if they're not working on being secure. And I also want to add a next trend number 6, and that is because of the impact of AI, and it's gonna take millions of jobs. It's also going to create some opportunities. It's going to make the personal connection even more valuable. So for those of you that are in sales or marketing, yeah, AI can automate and it can do appointment setting and it can do calls. It can do outbound sales calls for you and take appointments and do all that. But it's not going to replace that human connection, at least not yet. So just know that it's going to make improving your communication skills, your listening skills, adapting to the different styles. It's going to make all those behavioral things even more valuable to an organization. So don't worry, there's plenty of opportunities. So now I'm going to cover, I know I'm going fast, so just take notes, right? So now I covered some trends, and now I'm going to cover how to implement AI in your organization. When we're done with that, we're going to get knee deep into the how to and the examples and the more tactical things. So I'm covering some of the strategy things up front because I know some of the C-level executives are, okay, great, Ford, I don't really care. I just want to make sure my team knows what to do. So that's what this next short segment is about. So here are some key strategies that you can use to adapt or to adopt AI and to integrate it into your organization. Number 1, foster a culture of AI literacy, get trained. But like I said before, you don't just need training on what button to click and all that. You need strategic advice that's going to help you improve performance and improve profit. If that speaker isn't like me or isn't focused on that, then they're the wrong person, because whatever they teach you is going to be outdated in 60 days if they don't have the strategy involved. Number 2, make the AI tools that you're using in your organization accessible to your team. Give them a place, make sure on your onboarding, make sure on your intranet that there's a process and best use cases for how to use the AI tools. Number 3, you probably have AI champions across your different departments. So whether you have 2 people or 2,000 or 200,000, you probably have some AI champions. So you might think about forming a committee or maybe a Slack channel or a Teams channel or something where you are cultivating the people that are already experts and tapping into their expertise, even though that might not be their main role, but they probably have expertise. Number 4, I want you to incentivize engagement with rewards. So like you might have a hackathon. So let's say you want to do a lunch and learn Friday from 9 to noon. You're going to bring everybody into a meeting room or a conference room, and you're going to say, here are the top 3 challenges facing our organization or our department. Let's use AI and figure out how we could create workflows to improve them. So instead of everybody on their own trying to figure out how to use AI, you bring everybody together and you make it an event where they actually have a hackathon and come up with solutions. And you'd be surprised, this could help you bring a lot of money to the bottom line and add more value to your customers. So number 4, number 5, kind of mentioned this one, but set up communication channels on whatever tool you're using, whether it's Microsoft Teams or Teamwork or Slack or whatever the channel is for your company or for your organization, and put best practices and lessons learned. Best practices, lessons learned, and challenges. That way you're improving the communication. And lastly, I alluded to this in the beginning, create best use cases and policies to ensure that the AI usage and data protection and regulatory compliance. Again, I've got a lot of people here. I looked at who is registered, and they're in a lot of different industries. I've got financial services, I've got banking, I've got franchising, and you've got to make sure that you're in compliant. So what does that look like specifically for you? Now, I usually get this question, okay, Ford, if I brought you in to speak to my group, is it going to be customized? Yes. Every presentation I've done, I've been doing this for 34 years, is customized for your specific needs and outcome. Okay, so there's the shameless plug. Let's continue. So now we're going to get tactical. If you're on this call or watching this replay, I want to make sure that you get this on your phone because you're always with your phone. So download ChatGPT, get it on your phone, start using it. Look for the white logo, not the green logo. The green logo in the store is not the right one, even though that's the color of the company logo. Look at the screen. You want to get the whoops, wrong button. You want to get the white logo. So make sure it's the official app. Now, why do I want you to use this? Because it's going to help you uh, get familiar with the tool and get comfortable for it. So the free version of ChatGPT 4.0, which is for Omni, which came out about 3 weeks ago. So right now, everybody can get access to all the power. Now, the reason you would spend the $20 to pay for the plus plan or the team plan is because it gives you faster access and it's better results. So I recommend investing the $20, or if you're on a team plan. The advantage of a team plan is it allows everybody in an organization to collaborate on certain threads. So there are some advantages. And of course, if you're a bigger company, there's an enterprise model too. But again, don't get seduced by technology. Just understand that if you put it on your phone and you start to use it, it's great. So I do a lot of presentations, like I said, and I was just at a hotel and they set up the riser and the stage, but I needed another 8-foot table, but no one in the room spoke English. Sorry, it's just the hotel and it's just the hospitality industry. So I went up and I used my phone and I opened up ChatGPT and I said, "Hey, I want you to act as my translator." And I said, "What language?" And they said Portuguese. And I said, "Okay." So I know they spoke. And I said, "I want you to act as my translator. When you hear English, I want you to convert it to Portuguese. And when you hear Portuguese, I want you to convert it to English." And I said, "Hey, could you help me get another 8-foot table for the stage? I'd really appreciate it." It converted to Portuguese. The man heard it. He responded in Portuguese and he was smiling ear to ear because I was speaking his language. Well, I wasn't, the AI was, right? And so these tools are the worst they're ever going to be right now. And you can do this today with your phone right now. So if you have anybody that speaks another language, get it on your phone, hit the button, and you can actually talk to it. And it can actually do a real-time translation. So it's really amazing. Let's go to the next step. Okay, so I said get it on your phone. On the screen right now, at the top, you'll see a link, profitsresults.com/AI-tools. AI-tools is where you can get access directly without having to do a bunch of Googling to ChatGPT, Copilot, which is integrated into Microsoft and soon into all the Windows computers, Google's Gemini, and then Perplexity. So ChatGPT you're probably familiar with, or that's what we're going to talk about today. But Copilot allows you to have more of a private environment, and it's integrated into Word and Excel and PowerPoint. So it's involved into Windows. Gemini is Google's AI, which is definitely, I think in the long run, it's going to be the one that's going to beat out all the others because it's Google. I think they're behind the curve right now, but I think that they'll soon be in front. It's kind of like VHS and beta. I know you millennials are going to have to Google what I'm just talking about because you won't even know what that is. I'm kidding. Okay. All right. So all right. So these different tools, and if you start to use AI and you're in more of an intermediate user, you may take the same prompt and go to different tools and you're going to get different results because they're all trained off of different large language models. And you're going to start to figure out which tool is best for which application. I can certainly go into more detail, and I'll go into a little bit more detail, but I want to talk about Perplexity for just a moment. Perplexity.ai sits on top of ChatGPT and Gemini, and it gives you more real time. So if you're trying to do something that's real time, go to Perplexity.ai. If you're trying to just get copy written, go to Claude. If you're trying to do general use, I would use ChatGPT or Copilot. So you'll find out that each tool does something a little bit different. Now, I said earlier that I would go through prompt engineering, and I will. I'll give you the 7 steps for prompt engineering. But here's the most important takeaway. Complex conversations, not questions. So what do I mean by that? Earlier, when we started, I had a prompt that said, "I'm Ford Saeks. I'm a business growth accelerator and keynote speaker, and I have a Zoom webinar." And I was giving it a lot of context. And then I gave it a task. I want you to review this Excel spreadsheet and summarize the responses. And I was very specific. And then I said, I want you to put those responses into a table and create a graph. And so I gave it very specific instructions. I didn't just say, summarize this Excel document. So the key takeaway, if you're new, if you're already advanced, great, you get this point. But the more you speak to it like a human, the better. So I'm going to suggest that when you prompt, that you start saying, hi, hello, hey, I'd like your help. Not because the AI needs it, but because mentally it's going to help you phrase the questions the way you would speak to an intern. So that's your big takeaway for prompting, no matter what tool you're using, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or one of the other thousands that are out there, which we'll talk a few about. Start treating it like a human. I know it's a little freaky. I know it may feel a little uncomfortable, but it's going to help you get better results if you understand that you're interacting with a learning model, not a search engine. So if you're new to ChatGPT or any of them, most of them look similar to this. So you have up in the corner, you can start a new chat. Somewhere down at the bottom, you enter your prompt instructions, and then it keeps a history of your results on the other side. Only bringing that up for the video for those people that are completely new. They're like, hey, Ford, I don't even understand. So right now it's a browser interface, or you can use it on your phone, and it works great. Again, you're going to get different results on different tools, but I want you to start using it. So let's talk about a real life example here. I'll put this full screen for those of you that want to read it real quick. So here's a prompt. Let's say you sell B2B software and you want to improve inventory management for manufacturing companies. So now I give it the context. Your task is to help me train my staff on how to overcome the top sales objections, right? So anybody in sales, so everybody in every organization has to sell. And the purpose of selling is just giving people enough information that they can make good decisions, right? It's not to replace the human experience, but how could you use AI in the customer journey? And again, we could go into the whole mapping out the customer journey and figuring out where to do it. But if you're here today, I want you to be thinking, where would be the best places for me to do that? All right, so back to the task. I want you to list out the common objections and overturns with the specific words to say, and I want you to put the results into a table. So let's take a look at this in real time. So there's the prompt, same prompt we just looked at on the slide. So I sell it and I hit go. And now the AI goes to work. This is ChatGPT 4.0. It's now putting all of the responses into a table. The price is too high. We already have a solution. We don't have a budget. I'm skeptical. I have concerns about our thing. We have fear. So it gives me all the objections, right? And I say, okay, that's great. But now add columns for what to say and adapting each response. Look at this, to the personality style of DISC. So now it's going to do, well, okay, great. It's doing this in 8 seconds, but now I can't read this, right? So I'm going to let it finish. And then I'm going to say, put these results into an Excel table. And I click go. And it says, okay, Ford, let me put it into an Excel table. So it's writing the code right now. And again, remember, this can write code. It can do programming. It can do any language. And then it's created the sheet. And now I can download the file. And now it's going to take all those responses. It has the objection. It has the overturn, exactly what to say. And then it has if I'm a D, or if I'm an I, or if I'm an S, or if I'm a C. And it tells me exactly what to say to each style. Now, if at this point you're not familiar with what DISC is, obviously I sell assessments on profitrichresults.com. And Tony Alessandra, if you and your team are listening, thank you. I'm a reseller for his assessments. But it's not about DISC, and it doesn't matter which assessment you use. The important thing is that if you're in sales and you understand how to tailor the responses based on who the personality is of your prospect, you're going to increase sales. So for example, from me, I'm a high D, high I. That means I'm programmed to get it done, and I like to influence and have some social and have fun. The steady on the S is more about following rules and processes, and My team will tell you that I'm an entrepreneur, right? I've been an entrepreneur. I've had 17 different companies. I think it. I just want to go do it, right? I don't necessarily have a plan. My plan is, yes, let's go sell that, not step by step, right? And so then if you're analytical, you need more details. But if you're selling to me, wouldn't it be helpful to understand my personality and then tailor the marketing response or the proposal or the cover letter or the follow-up letter based on my style? So if you're not tailoring your sales and marketing messages to target markets using AI to help your team understand it, to help them understand it more effectively, you're probably losing opportunities and losing sales. Okay, so let's say I want to role play. Let's say you're saying, okay, Ford, but I want my team to learn. This is great. I can read it, but I want to actually practice. Well, you can take a prompt into any AI model. You can type and say, I want you to help me role play. And then the AI will actually act like the customer and it'll have a conversation with you. So here's a little example of doing that. So I typed in the task and it says, here's the scenario. I'm extremely frustrated with your software. I've been having, so this is the customer who's played by AI. And then it's giving me, the business representative, the 7 steps to make sure I understand how to overcome that upset customer, right? And of course, if Shep Hyken was here, he'd say, yeah, those are the 7 steps, right? Because he's an expert in customer experience and service. And Scott McCain, if you're here too. Okay, so it's giving me the 7 steps, but I actually want it to train me. So let's go ahead and look at how it would work in real time. So I go to Gemini, let's just say, I type that prompt in, I hit go, and the AI is going to simulate a scenario. It's going to say, okay, Ford, ring, ring. Thanks for calling. This is Ford. How can I help you? Well, I've been on hold for 20 minutes. This is ridiculous. I want to cancel my subscription. So being an expert in customer service, my response is, fine, cancel. Is that all I get? No apology for the wait time, no attempt at understanding why I'm okay, so obviously I was teasing, right? So let's fast forward. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Tell me more. And it interacts with me. And you can even do this with speech. It has speech where you can use your microphone and speak back and forth. So now I fast forward to the end. The customer's happy. And now it's going to give me feedback on that role play. It's going to say, hey, Ford, you did a great job de-escalating, but you probably should have more empathy. And so for those of you know that sometimes I have a low empathy score, and I'm more interested in getting performance or results than worrying about how someone feels because they're paying me a lot of money, right? So it's like, I want you to get results. I'm not going to blow smoke, or I'm the truth teller, right? I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, even though it may not be what you want to hear in some cases. So, just shows you. So again, you can use AI to role play. AI can actually talk and listen. I'm going to only play this video short. I'll probably fast forward because you will understand it. So yeah, let me play this video real quick. So what we're talking about here, let me slow down. On your phone, AI can have a conversation. You can click the little headphone button. It can upload photos, you can upload files, or you can just talk into your phone and have a conversation with AI, just like I told you earlier about speaking Portuguese and asking for the table, right? And so I'll just play this video real quick.
I'm doing a presentation today on mastering AI and ChatGPT. Can you give me a simple question I can use as an icebreaker to start the presentation?
Sure. How about this question for your presentation's icebreaker? If you could have a 1-hour conversation with any historical figure using AI, who would you choose and why? It's a great starter to spark interest and discussion.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so again, you click on the little headphones on the screen right there. It tells you what button to click. It's the headphones, and if you click that on your phone, you can actually talk to it. And the 404 Omni is getting freaky scary, and this is the worst it's ever going to get. So I highly encourage that you practice that. Again, you can take a picture with your phone. I can take a picture of an audience and say count the number of people. I can take a picture of a stack of lumber and say count the boards. It can analyze, so it's much more multimodal, like I said when we started. AI can see. So I'll give you an example. You can take a photo and upload a photo. So if I find button number 3 on my list here, there we go. So I'm in ChatGPT. I uploaded a photo from Google of a bunch of cleaning supplies. My prompt was explain the picture and what the products are for. So it explains it. So it actually understood what was in the photo. And then I said, can you be more specific and can you put those results into a table? So I hope by now you're seeing examples of how to do this. And again, I could say turn that into Spanish. So let's just recap a little bit what we've talked about so far. So we're 40 minutes in, we got another 20 minutes to go. I hope you're taking notes and getting some great things. The most important thing is treat it as an intern. We're going to talk about setting your defaults here in just a minute. I want to make sure that you think about how you can use it. So you need to step back and think strategically about your organization and your needs and what your role is and map out whatever's repetitive and how can you improve those workflows. So here's another video. Now I'm going to play this video. You can see I'm wearing a blue shirt today, right? So let's play this video.
This was 100% created by AI using Ford's voice. I have the power to make him say anything. That's scary. Remember, AI is not just the future, it's the present, radically transforming every industry before our eyes. It's creating unprecedented efficiencies and opportunities. But with this power, we must ensure ethical and inclusive development. Hola, asistentes. ¿Alguien en la audiencia habla español? Este clip también fue creado al 100% por IA usando la voz de Ford, porque él no habla español. Piensen en las posibilidades.
So just imagine what you could do. That literally, that it already has my voice. I can type in a script and paste it in. And again, I have avatars that are even better than that now. You cannot tell the difference. And especially if you have other things on the screen. Now, yes, for those of you wondering, this is still me live and in person. I won't cuss or anything, but this is me live as we do this training. So let's continue. Hopefully you're getting some great things. This is the tool that I'm using, but there are hundreds of tools out there. So don't get seduced by technology. I know there's Synthesia and there's I think it's 11 Labs and there's a bunch of others. Don't get seduced by the tool. Look at it and think, okay, I want to do this. So think about if you think it, you can do it. So I want you to think more of the outcome first, then worry about the tool. And there's plenty of tools that you can use. So let's get into some of the advanced things because I know, remember I told you we're going to go beginner, intermediate, advanced. So we're going to go a little bit advanced for some of you. Let's talk about workflows with AI, which is so now we've learned how to use ChatGPT or so. How do we make all these tools integrate together? So let's talk about Zapier, or it's actually Zapier. I keep pronouncing that wrong. It's Zapier. So in Zapier, here's a workflow that I had in real time. On my website, profitrichresults.com, I have a contact form. Maybe someone's interested in hiring me as a speaker. When they fill out that contact form, it captures the data. It sends that data to Zoho, which is my CRM system. And thank you to SpeakerFlow for helping me customize it. And then it sends the name from the form to Be Human. And then it creates a customized video in Be Human with their name on it. And then it puts that video on a landing page. So basically, they fill out the form. Hey, Ford, I'm interested in having you speak at our conference on October. I'd like to find out your availability. It captures their information. It sends it to Zoho. It sends the name over to Be Human. Be Human creates the video. It sends it back, and then it sends them an email to say, hey, Katrina, thanks so much for putting a hold on Ford's calendar. He'd love to be able to help you. So it takes and it customizes the name and the template. So imagine you have templates for normal responses, but it can customize different places in the video where it could say, hey, Katrina, thank you so much for putting a hold on October 11th and 12th. Ford loves being a partner to fill in the blank franchisespeakers.com, which is who I work with a lot in franchising, my partner there, or it could say Speaker Exchange Agency. I know you're probably on the call too, but it can customize the video based on the prompt. And I didn't have to do anything. It's all automated. So that's what we're talking about with workflows. Let me go ahead and hit number 12 and show you how that works. So I can just come into Zapier. I can type my prompt right into Zapier. So I don't have to be technical. I don't have to learn how to code. I can just tell Zapier, this is what I want you to do. And Zapier came and said, okay, Ford, here's the steps. Step 1, get the form. 2, create the entry in Zoho. 3, create the Be Human video. So it's amazing how fast it can actually work. Zapier also came out with what's called central.zapier.com. For those of you intermediate and advanced, write that down. You're going to want to go check Zapier out, or this Central. Central.zapier.com is Zapier's AI tool, which then you can, it takes, you've got Zapier here and you've got central.zapier here. And central.zapier is basically an AI tool. So you can just go to it if you're new to this and say, well, I need to capture, I want you to go through my email, and anytime a response comes in, I want you to add it to Airtable, or you can have all these fancy workflows. So the outcome is, what systems do you want to connect, or what processes do you have? It's going to make virtually, I know a lot of people outsource to the Philippines and overseas. It's going to basically eliminate all those jobs, because while they can do it for pennies on the dollar, AI is going to be able to do it even cheaper. So just know that that's coming. Let's go ahead. Let's play this video real quick. Number 13. So you can see, I go to Zapier, you can log in, and it basically, a workflow has a behavior, has actions, and has data sources. And so the first time you do a workflow, it might be a little bit more complicated, but those are the 3 things. And again, if you put in your prompt with what you want, it will actually build it and say, okay, here's what you need to do, step-by-step instructions. And not only will it tell you, but it actually allows you to walk through a wizard, and actually, you don't need to know anything. You just type it in and say, okay, I need to connect my website. Boom. I need to connect the Gravity form. Boom. I need to connect Zoho. Boom. I guess I should stop saying boom, right? Okay. So the point is, think about how you can combine all those workflows together. This is a great one. So, you've all seen chatbots before, and I thought about having chatbots on my website, but most of them were so stupid, and I had to program every single response. You had to have a question and then a generic response, and you had to do the branched learning. Well, now with AI, and I use Zapier for my chatbots, and people hire us to build chatbots for their organization, and we can do that for you if you're on the call and you're interested in that. I can help you with workflows. But now I have a chatbot on both of my websites, my agency site and Profit Rich Results, where it actually acts as a human and has a real conversation. So I'll give you an example. We'll do this quickly. Play number 16. So there's my speaker website, Profit Rich Results. It says, hello there. How can I assist you to book Ford? Got questions about keynotes? And I say, what are his topics? And it says Ford covers a wide range of impactful, here they are, and it lists out my topics, and then it gives them a link to my keynote page. Now, keep in mind, it did that all through AI. I didn't tell it what to do. And then, does he know anything about AI? Absolutely. Ford is well-versed in AI. He has these 3 programs. He does integrations. And then it gives him a link to the virtual presentations page. And then I wrote, who is Devin Horning, who's my rock star, one of my team members? And so it says, okay, here's who Devin is, but I could help you. And now it's asking for lead capture. So what this is actually doing is it's engaging the customer with about 3 prompts. And after about 3 prompts, then it says, hey, I'd love to tell you more. What's your name? What's your email? Because the whole point is capturing the lead, right? If you're a potential meeting planner interested in hiring a speaker, you're probably Googling and you're looking through a bunch of speakers and watching demo videos and all those things. Well, I want to be able to capture that lead, which then can go into a work funnel, which then can send you a link to my demo video and my speaker packet and video testimonials, and not to inundate you or spam you, but just to help engage you. Because again, if you're looking to hire a speaker and invest the money, you want social proof. You want to know, is this person going to deliver real value, or are they going to put people into a PowerPoint coma? And no, that's not what I'm going to do. All right, so moving on here. Make.com. This is a big one. I want everybody to know if you're intermediate advanced. So we talked about Zapier. Make.com is now becoming my favorite integration tool. But I'm going to recommend that if you're a company, you hire someone like me. I have a program where I can come in and help you create workflows and strategically work with you to help leverage this, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you're a big company. But make.com is a tool that can help you do it. So if you really want to get into it in the weeds yourself, you can go to make.com and you can check it out. I have found that the workflows are different than Zapier. Zapier connects to over 6,000 different software programs. Make.com is at about 1,500 right now, but it does 1,500 of the main ones. So make.com will help you get data in and out and create those fancy workflows. So let's take a look at one of the workflows. So this is something that's commonly asked by clients of me. They say, well, Ford, what if I automated a post that every time I post a blog, I could post it to different places? So I want you to look at the screen and look through this workflow right now. So we're talking about every time I post a blog, AI is going to check my blog and say, oh, Ford posted a new blog. Then it's going to take that blog post and it's going to go into a text parser and it's going to go into a router. These are all the workflow steps, okay? Again, don't worry about how, just think about the strategy. This is the outcome. My outcome is I want to write the blog and then I want it to do all the work for breaking it up into tweets, into breaking it up into other videos, and breaking it up into Facebook posts, and then a LinkedIn post. So I'll just click the button real quick and show you how that works. So I can come in here, I can browse templates. They have lots of different templates. So again, you can pause the video later and you can come in or just go to make.com, and I think they have a free trial. You can check it out. But the one I want to go to is the one on that I just showed you on the screen, which is how to automate the blog post. And again, you can start with a template and then you can go through the different steps. It'll walk you through exactly how to set this up. And so this is saving you time. So I just want you to think about your organization. What processes do you have that if you automated would help you accelerate your performance? Now, I'm going to say this right now too. All boats rise with the tide. So yeah, you can use AI to write blog posts and short form video scripts and repurpose your video. And basically, if you think it, you can do it. But here's the deal. Soon, shortly, SEO is going to become irrelevant. Getting your website ranked is going to become irrelevant. And that should scare the poop out of a lot of you. What's going to happen is AI, and Google's already starting to do this. The search engines are going to be basically AI-driven results. It's not going to be a list of websites. And it's going away. What's going to be important is not SEO, but GEO, generative optimization. Okay, search engine optimization. And generative means what kind of content do you have that allows your content to come up into the search results? So producing content around the top questions and challenges that your organization or your industry faces, and being an expert in content distribution, becoming a media company for your own company, that's what's going to be more valuable than just posting a blog or using on-site SEO. So just know that these changes are coming, and it's going to be very disruptive. All right, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly for the video. For some of you that might be like, Ford, I just need to know the steps. I'm analytical. Will you just give me the steps? Okay, so here are the 7 steps to prompting, but you've seen me do this for 50 minutes. Talk like you're talking to a real person. Step 1, define the task. Give it some context. Define the audience. Use examples. Maybe you're trying to write job descriptions. Well, you can upload examples. You can upload your operating procedure. You can upload your brand style guide. You can upload examples to the AI tool. Specify the formatting. You saw me do that. Put your answers into a table, convert it to Spanish. And then here's an important one. What else do you need? And refine. So when I'm talking to it like a real person. I'm saying, hey, I want you to help me create a marketing campaign to reach speakers bureaus without harassing them. I just want to give them, because speakers bureaus do not need your information. They get inundated with people trying to get them to be listed. So you really have to be of value. How can you solve their problems? So I can look at what are the top challenges, and then I can drip on them with valuable information without trying to sell them anything. And then that's what positions you as an expert. Now, here's some things you could try if you're new. Again, we're going back down to the beginner. You can ask for pros and cons, step-by-step instructions, or to structure into any other format. So whatever result you get, if you want to change it, you can certainly do that. So let's, as we got about 8 minutes left, remember, I'm going to stick around when we get to the end here and I'm going to answer questions. We'll turn this into a regular Zoom meeting and I'll share the screen and we can do it that way. If you're using AI, please remove this from your vocabulary. I hope this message finds you well. Why? Because AI loves using that. These are some red flags. If you're using too many emojis. Now, if I'm doing a TikTok post, fine, I'll use emojis. But if it's a LinkedIn post, you start having too many emojis and it's going to really be obvious that you used AI to write your post. I know there's AI detectors and all that, but look, as soon as the AI detector comes out, then the AI understands how to generate AI that you don't need. So as soon as AI detects that it's AI, then the AI understands how to write the code that doesn't get found in the detection. Like I said earlier, it's going to be harder in the future to know what's real and what's fake. And so be careful of overusing cliches and things like that. I mentioned this earlier, so quick little review. Set up all of your defaults. Whatever program you're using, doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT or whatever the program is. Oops, I got to hit stop on this. Whatever it is, make sure that you're setting up your default. So just whatever program, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Murph, Synthesia, doesn't matter what the program is, make sure you set up your defaults. All right, let's go to GPT. So I wrote this book right here on the shelf. This is just to help you understand. So I wrote a book called Accelerate. It's a guide for local marketing to help them boost sales and improve results, right? But, a lot of people don't want to read, so they can go to the audiobook. But now I actually took that book and I created a custom GPT. What that means is I took the manuscript and I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I created my own little custom GPTs. I did one for local networking and I did one for how to improve sales. So I trained the AI model and made a custom set of instructions to use just my content. So think about your company. What could you do to create a custom AI, which is called a GPT, that you could deploy privately, internally, or unlisted, or put into the knowledge base for everybody to find? So there's 3 different levels. And it's customized. So basically, I took my manuscript, uploaded it. So now if I speak on local marketing, I can say, hey, everybody in the audience gets access to my AI GPT. And now that franchisee, if they're doing local networking, can interact in real time using their voice with an AI that's trained off the content from my book or the content from my book and their local store marketing guide or whatever. So you can customize it based on a set of instructions that are just for you and your company. So I want to make sure that you know about the editor. So if you're in ChatGPT, you can either go straight to the link that's on the screen, or you can go here. When you're logged into ChatGPT, you're going to see Explore GPTs. And then in the upper right-hand corner of your account, it's going to say Create. That's where you go to create it. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of questions about that. And, we're certainly going to go ahead and dive into it. Let's go ahead and put this up here. All right. Key number 1, you can create multiple GPTs. There's no limit. You can create as many different ones as you want for legal, accounting, marketing, sales, customer service, culture, team building, whatever it is for your organization. And you can decide whether you're going to upload content or upload content and use the large language model. So you can do both. So like for my chatbot on my speaker website, I trained it. All I had to do was give it access to my website and Google, and Zapier understood, oh, I know who Ford is. He's a Hall of Fame keynote speaker. He's been speaking for 34 years. He founded the $1 Million Speakers Group for the National Speakers Association. He's got these awards. He's spoken B2B and B2C brands. So it does all these different things. So then it knows how to respond in real time to real questions. So it's really quite amazing. So as we get ready to wrap up, I hope you've been taking notes. I'm going to share with you a few of my favorites, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to where you can provide some feedback, and then we're going to do some Q&As. So these are just a few of my favorites. Now, these are tools that are built off the other engines. So Zapier I talked about. Claude is great for copy. It gives more real life copy. HeyGen is what I used to do my videos. Seamless.ai, I use for sales leads. And then from 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9 helps me repurpose content. Then there's Midjourney, which I don't spend a lot of time on Midjourney because ChatGPT has Dolly, and a lot of the images that you saw in this presentation were created from that. Superhuman AI can actually go through my inbox and respond with sample responses to help me produce better relationships and faster emails and save me time. Repurpose.io helps me distribute content more effectively. I can upload a video, like I can take this whole 1 hour video, upload it to Repurpose or Munch. I'd normally use it to getmunch.com, where I'd upload this whole 60-minute webinar I did, and then I can say, make vertical video, make horizontal video, look for the content in this, because it transcribes everything and it does text editing, right? Real-time editing. And it can produce 60 or 70 different videos from this one video. So it can repurpose the content. It can leverage you. Lumen, Be Human. I don't have in here 11 Labs. Yeah, I make sure I'm doing that right. 11 Labs is also a great one for voice. Just know, if you think it, you can do it. So as we get ready to wrap up, I want to go here for just a second. So, I've delivered great value to you in the last 60 minutes. If you're interested in learning more, obviously you can reach out to me through LinkedIn or through profitrichresults.com. But people always ask me, okay, Ford, will you help me integrate? Will you help me? So I have a special. It's typically $5,000, never reveal price before value. I think I've delivered value. My keynote fee is much higher than that, just for the record. But if you want customized training, virtual training for you and your team to help you integrate some of these workflows, you can come back and you can use your phone and go to the QR code, or go to profitrichresults.com/code-AI now. And the reason I said AI now is that's the coupon, that's the discount code that if you want to schedule that and lock in a time to work one-on-one with me, you're going to need the AI code. Otherwise, it's going to charge you full price, which I'm fine if you don't want to use the code, but I appreciate it if you use the code. So now that's on the screen. I'll just put that real big just for the video for just a second. And as we get ready to close up, what I want you to be thinking about now is, what are your key takeaways, right? What do you want to stop doing? What do you want to continue doing? And what do you want to start doing, right? So start, stop, and continue. And I really appreciate for those of you that have participated today. I know this time went really fast. So I'm going to play some outro music. I'm going to stop. Don't go anywhere. And then we'll turn it into the actual Q&A session. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so that was fun. So the first question is, can you show us how to, so the first question comes from Elaine. She says, can you show us how to go to security and check the best security to protect us? Yes. So I actually can do that. Let's go to custom instructions. So I'll hit the button here. Here we go. So when you go into ChatGPT, you can go to the upper right-hand corner and you can go to customize ChatGPT. And you can add in custom instructions. So what does it need to know about you and what's your brand? But then when you're done with the custom instructions, you can say enable custom instructions for all chats, or you can come over here and it'll go to settings. And then here's where you walk through each of these defaults. You click on personalization, and it has memory. So now you can say, commit this to memory. You can pick the voice you want. You can decide if your data is going to be used for large language model. If you're building GPTs, you can put your profile in there. And then, of course, you can connect different apps. And then you can set up multi-factor. So that's the first question. Next question is, I have a Samsung phone with their new AI. Is it better to use that or ChatGPT? So I would say, let's go back here for a second. I would say, look, practice with both. Just know that this technology is advancing quickly, and ChatGPT 4.0 just came out about 2 weeks ago. So what happens is everybody's competing for the eyeballs. So you're seeing, as soon as, if Samsung comes out with something that's really important, then guess what? All the other programs are going to integrate it, just like voice and files. There used to be these things called plugins where you could go and upload a PDF. Well, now you can just upload a PDF. You can upload a whole PDF and larger files. So my book is 50,000 words. I couldn't upload my whole book to ChatGPT. I would have had to do chapters or sections. Well, now I can upload much larger files. Dan says, treat AI. Dan, good to hear you. I think that's from AI, Rocky Mountain AI. treat AI as an intern, I'd suggest ask it like it's a Harvard MBA, but review it like okay. So Dan has a comment for everybody, which is, look, treat it like a Harvard MBA, but review it like it's an intern. Don't dumb down your questions like it's an intern. Yeah, again, garbage in, garbage out. The more you tell it, like I'll tell it, act as an expert in this, act as an expert in intellectual property law. So I give it the context, which is the high level. But when I say treat it like an intern, that means just make sure you're reviewing the content. Second video better than Hey Gen. I would say, look, there's all different types of video. I like Hey Gen and Be Human are the two that I'm using. But again, use the tool and do your due diligence. What is a custom GPT? Hi, Janice. A custom GPT is a subset of instructions that helps the AI focus around a certain topic. So instead of just training it every time, you can set up a GPT. Like I have an intellectual property GPT. If someone asks me to speak in an organization and they send me their contract, instead of using my contract, I can upload the contract to the GPT and say, act as my intellectual property attorney, review this contract, and look for red flags that I need to be aware of. Now, it's not a replacement for a competent professional, but it's certainly going to save you time. Next, Greg, nice, the master negotiator here. Greg says, Ford, how long do you work with someone in the program you mentioned about the AI Now discount? On that page, if you go to that page, it tells you, but it's basically, I do a pre-event, we discovery, we establish some goals and roles that make sense that you're going to do, establish the guidelines and the criteria, and then me and my team implement, and then we train you on that. So it gives you a chance to solve some of your biggest problems. It's not a year-long thing or anything like that, but it's value for value. I typically charge $5,000. If you go to my website, you'll see my consulting starts at 15 grand. My speaking fees start at 20. And again, this is Google. You can Google it and know that. My international fees are obviously a lot higher, but just know it's, and you're the master negotiator. Don't get seduced by price. It's always about value. I have created that program significantly lower than what I would because I know that people, they don't know what they don't know and they're not sure yet. So I want to make the price easy enough for them to invest in, but the return is going to be 10 times or 100 times more because it's going to save you time and energy and improve what you're doing. Okay, so those are the main questions I got. Devin, I think we can answer that. How do you tell Ford from the real version? A few people asked that. Dan says, okay, Dan from Rocky Mountain AI. That's good. I was a guest in his community. I'd love to be a guest again, Dan, if you're still here. Takeaways from the meeting. Okay, a few people wrote the takeaways. You mentioned SEO for websites. What are some ways to help AI? Look, as far as SEO for your website, you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini and say, here's a link to my website. I want you to analyze it. Or you can get your 5 competitors. Here, I'm going to type in links to my 5 top competitors. I want you to review their websites and review mine. And I want you to look for ways that I can exploit their weaknesses. Use AI as a tool to help you do that. And it'll say, oh, these are the experts and this is what I think you can do there. Does ChatGPT recognize slang and red flags and other natural phrasing? Yes, it does. It wrote a sales letter one time and I wrote, this is bull. And I said the wrong word. I said, this is too salesy. Sounds like a computer. And it answered me and said, hey, I'm sorry. Let me try again. And then it was perfect. So it understands everything. You'd be surprised. It understands cuss words, but no one professionally would ever use cuss words. Let's go to the Q&A and see if there's any last questions. Okay, I'm a Stage Time member. So yes, if you're interested in learning how to get paid to speak, certainly you want to check out Darren LaCroix's Stage Time University. We have a program called Biz Mastery, which I'm involved in. Dawn says, I'm the best in the industry. Thank you, Dawn. That was an unsolicited testimonial. All right, so here's the deal. My trouble is getting hand raisers. How can AI help me get out to more people? So Heather, it really just depends on if you're talking about hand raisers, if you're talking about people that are interested in your business that might want to do business with you. This is more of a marketing question. And again, the key to marketing is just giving people enough of the right information that they can make good decisions, right? I mean, that's really what the whole point is to give people enough information. So AI can help you identify the top challenges in your industry. It can help you research opportunities. But to just wrap this up, and I might just leave this in as part of the recording that we did today. Look, use AI to engage, to improve the customer experience, map out the customer journey, research what are the top challenges that you have in your industry. Make sure you have a really clear identify of who is your ideal client, and not just anybody, but who's your ideal client. What do you know about their behaviors and their statistics? And then what marketing methods are you using? So the key to success in any business is making sure that you understand, what does it cost you to reach a customer? What's the conversion rate? What's the profit on the first sale? And what's the long-term value? Well, AI can help you with those answers to those questions, so you can identify what's it costing you to acquire a customer. And then your goal is to shorten that sales cycle and improve and lower the cost to acquire a new customer. And not just a new customer, but the long-term value of a customer. So how do you create the long-term value of a customer? All right, so that's everything I have for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here today, and I will be putting up the replay as soon as it's done encoding. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.